Alright you guys, what is up and welcome back to another video on the channel. Now today we are going to be going over the top 10 albums of 2021. But before we jump into that, I want to start with some honorable mentions. Alright. First honorable mention. And yeah, this album is probably the biggest album of the year, streams wise. But Sour by Olivia Rodrigo. You know, it's an okay album. It grew on me, but I don't think it deserves top 10. But you gotta give credit where credit's due. Honorable mention number 2, Gold Digger's Sound by Leon Bridges. Honorable mention number 3, The Melodic Blue by Baby Keem. Honorable mention number 4 goes to Donda by Kanye West. Honorable mention number 5 goes to GGBBXX by Lainey. Honorable mention number 6 goes to Hall of Fame by Polo G. And the last honorable mention of the day goes to Montero by Lil Nas X. All these albums that I just mentioned are albums that were good, but I don't think quite made the cut as a top 10 album of the year. But we're going to be jumping right into it with number 10 being Equals by Ed Sheeran. Now, I was really surprised. This is an album that kind of grew on me the more I listened to it. And it was a little bit different, okay? And yeah, I know that's super mainstream. And this year, I tried as hard as I could to like expand my taste in music as much as I could. And there was a lot of great albums that came out that just didn't quite make the cut. But first thing was Equals. At number 9 is going to be The Off Season by J. Cole. You know, here's the thing about J. Cole. He drops an album and then he takes a few years. Actually, a few years break. No one knows what happened to him. And then he comes back with fire. The dude doesn't disappoint. Oh yeah, I also wanted to say my favorite songs off each album. My favorite song off Equals is going to be Two Step. My favorite song off of The Off Season is Pride is the Devil. Coming in at number 8 is going to be Vince Staples' self-titled album. Now, Vince Staples is another one of those guys I kind of discovered this year. But the thing I like about this album is it's unique. It's something new. I feel like just the way it was done, it was produced very well. And I think it's one of the most underrated albums of the entire year, in my opinion. My favorite song on this album is going to be Law of Averages. Coming in at number 7. Surprised to be this high on the list considering it is a posthumous album. But it's going to be Fighting Demons by Juice WRLD. I was really kind of surprised and thrown off by it. You know, some people might not agree with me, and obviously there's a lot of people that aren't going to agree with my picks. But considering this is his second posthumous album, there was a lot of really good songs on there. And there was only a couple songs on the whole album I didn't like. But my favorite song on that album in particular is going to be Doom. Number 6 was Clouds, the mixtape by NF. Now this is one of those EP album types that I didn't see coming. I'm a pretty big NF fan, so I guess that does play a little bit of bias. Also, drink your water. But yeah, NF he's consistent and he's good at what he does. NF has a certain sound to him, but this album really is just kind of surprising. One of those things you don't expect but you still get. And my favorite song on this album was going to be Layers, because it just has that unique beat switch in it that makes it so much better. Alright, coming in at number 5 is An Evening with Silk Sonic by Silk Sonic. Well, I mean, what more can I say? I think everyone's at least heard of the album. When they dropped Leave the Door Open and then just built up to it. And the features from Thundercat and the fact it's hosted by Bootsy Collins, all these things just played a big role into how good it was. My favorite song on the album was definitely Skate, but I think the whole album, it's a unique vibe. It's something new to the pop genre that we haven't heard, and it kind of helped re-emerge Anderson .Paak. I mean, he was already like really big, but it helped him like re-emerge. Now coming in at number 4, which is kind of surprising for me. I'm kind of biased because I don't really listen to a lot of female artists. I've tried to get better, but Notice I don't like them as much. But coming in at number 4 is going to be Life Support by Madison Beer. And I think of all the artists on this list, hold on. Yeah, of all the artists on this list, she was the only one that I saw in concert this year. And I was actually very surprised. She put on a really good show. But the thing I like about this album is, yeah, you know how I say it about every album. It's unique. It has its own vibe. It's the kind of album that you listen to it and it feels like you're sucked into that world. Every track on there is good. And with every album I put on here, it's the kind of thing where you gotta listen to it from top to bottom to get the whole experience. You know, some people don't understand that. But when I'm listening to this, it's melodic. Her vocal performances on this album are incredible, and I think it's one of the most underrated albums of the year. And yet again, Selfish was on this album, which was a huge song, and Baby, and yeah, there's some others, but I just can't remember. Alright, we finally made it to the top 3 albums of the year. Okay, so coming in at number 3, the bronze medal of the year is going to be Scaled and Icy by 21 Pilots. Wow. 21 Pilots, I don't know what it is, but they just never disappoint. They take a few years in between each album, tour, and then they just come back with more and more and more. Every time. They never disappoint. And, you know, you love to see it. You love to see artists that are consistent. And, yeah, their music was similar to that of Trench, but I feel like this whole album was a little bit more upbeat. And I love that about it. My favorite favorite song off this album was Good Day. Also, my favorite song off of Life Support album was Follow the White Rabbit. Coming in at number 2 is a guy who, honestly, when I first listened to him, I just thought he was kind of weird. But that's what makes him good. It's going to be Tyler, the Creator, Call Me If You Get Lost. Just, wow. He continues to deliver with something that's unique every time. It's a unique product. It's amazing. It's amazing all the features he had, some of the singles he had leading up to it. And yeah, it might not be as big as Igor, but it's incredible. My favorite song is called Sweet / I Thought You Wanted to Dance. And it just sounds so Tyler. Like a 9-minute song, but I love that. I love those long songs that keep you hooked the whole time. It's just amazing. Now, drum roll please. Album of the year goes to Whole Lot of Red by Playboi Carti. What? Yeah, what? I know I'm saying. But this album is a revolutionary album. How often do you get an album like that? And to any regular person who would go on this album and click shuffle and hear Carti screaming would be like, what in the world? I don't understand. I shouldn't listen to this. But you need to give something like this a chance. I don't know what it is about it, but it just, I don't know, it makes me happy. It makes me feel like a vamp. Just kidding. But he delivers. He really does. We waited 2 years for the album. He dropped it on Christmas 2020. So technically, yes, it isn't a 2021 album, but it is, because I didn't hear it till 2021. And so did most of the people. It's an album. What album ages better? You know, some albums when they come out, people love them, and then they just kind of hit the decline. But this one, when it came out, people kind of were like, oh. But now people are like, okay, the more you listen to it, the more you learn to like it. It's the kind of thing where you just need to give it a chance. And I took that chance on it, and I loved it. Playboi Carti did not disappoint. My favorite song on that album is going to be Jump Out the House or Over. But anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in to my top 10 favorite albums of 2021. I'm curious to see if you guys want to put your top 10 in the comments. You can. If you don't want to, I get it. It'll take a long time. But just thanks for watching and supporting. Hope you have a wonderful day, and a wonderful year. Peace out.